What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mom's Dinner. My name is Susie Weinrich. Today, I'm sharing with you a recipe that's probably one of the most popular recipes on my website, momsdinner.com. And I don't know why it's taken this long for me to do this video. So, you know, if you've watched some of my other videos, how much I love enchiladas. I will link my chicken enchilada video up here for you. But stay here because this one's really good too. We're gonna make a ground beef enchilada casserole. Not traditional, that's fine. It doesn't have to be. We're gonna do all the components of beef enchiladas that you love, the corn tortillas, the onions, the garlic, the red enchilada sauce, ground beef, all the flavors, but we're gonna layer it in a casserole. So you're not gonna be rolling and doing all that stuff. It's just gonna be layered. So simple, it is so delicious. It's a wonderful weeknight dinner. So stick around today because we're gonna make beef enchilada casserole for dinner and you are gonna love it. We're gonna start this recipe with about 1 pound to 1 1/4 pounds of ground beef. I love to use an 85/15 ground beef because it has enough fat to be flavorful, but not so much fat that your enchiladas end up being greasy. So go ahead and brown and crumble that in the pan. I love that tool. It's called a meat masher, and I will link it down in the description box for you. Now, once that's browned, you want to drain off any excess grease. This is my method. Don't come for me. I just tilt the pan up and use some paper towels with some tongs. Get the grease out of there, throw that away, and then you can move on with the recipe. So to that ground beef, you're going to add 1 medium chopped white onion and 3 chopped garlic cloves. And you're gonna add in 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, and then add 3 tablespoons of water and get this stirred around and let those spices start to kind of simmer in the pan with the ground beef. Now this part is super untraditional, but we love cilantro in the Mom's Dinner kitchens. So I am going to chop up about 1/4 cup of cilantro and then just get that added to the ground beef and stir it around. Again, you do not have to add cilantro, especially if you don't like cilantro. Let that saute, and then while that's doing its thing, I'm going to shred up 8 ounces of a cheddar or Monterey Jack or pepper jack cheese. I just happen to have a little mild cheddar here. I hate shredding cheese. It's my least favorite kitchen task, but I still do it because it makes such a difference on how creamy your cheese melts up. All right, I'm gonna show you really quickly how to make a homemade enchilada sauce. Start with 2½ tablespoons of all-purpose flour, then go in with 2½ tablespoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of cumin, about 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, and then about ½ teaspoon of onion powder and garlic powder. Get that stirred up together, and then you're gonna add that to 2½ tablespoons of vegetable oil that's heating up in this pan. You're gonna get that whisked together and just let those seasonings and spices just simmer in that oil just for about a minute. Then you're gonna go in with an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce and 2 cups of chicken broth. Whisk that together and let it bubble and thicken. And then off the heat, you'll finish it with 2 teaspoons of white vinegar and 1 teaspoon of lime juice. Now, if you have a canned enchilada sauce that you like, that you want to use, go ahead and do that. Totally works. All right, so let's build this casserole. Start with about 1/3 cup of that enchilada sauce down on the bottom of a 9x13 pan. Then you're gonna go in with 4 or 5 yellow corn tortillas. Yellow corn is way more flavorful than white corn tortillas, so I highly recommend getting the yellow corn. And just lay those down on the bottom of the pan so that it covers, the whole pan. Then you're gonna put half of that ground beef mixture on top of those corn tortillas. Then spread it out from edge to edge. Now you're gonna top that with about 3/4 to a cup of red enchilada sauce. Then you're gonna take about a heaping ½ cupful of that shredded cheese and sprinkle that over top. Now we're gonna repeat that layer. You wanna do 4 or 5 corn tortillas and just layer them. You can cut them in half or however you need to do it so that it kind of covers the whole pan. Then you're going to use the rest of that ground beef mixture. Make sure you scrape it all out of your pan. Then we're going to repeat that red enchilada sauce about 3/4 to 1 cup. Then we're going to do another heaping half cup of the shredded cheese. Now we're going to finish this off. We're going to go in with, again, 4 or 5 corn tortillas. Then to finish, you're going to pour the rest of your enchilada sauce over the tortillas. Now, if you made your own enchilada sauce, make sure you scrape every last bit out of that pan. You want this to be kind of saucy. Then take a wooden spoon or rubber spatula and just spread that sauce from end to end so it coats everything. Then you're going to finish it off with the rest of your cheese. You want to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Cover this with foil. I like to spray the underside of my foil with a little nonstick spray so it doesn't bake to the cheese. Pop it in the oven at 350 for 20 minutes. Remove the foil, and then you're going to bake it for another 10 minutes, and then it's ready. Ooh, this baby's hot out of the oven, and it looks absolutely perfect. I'm so excited to have dinner. So everything cooks up so quickly in the oven. It's so simple to throw together. So I do want to let this cool for about 5 minutes so that it can kind of set up, you know, like a lasagna. Anything that's like a layered type casserole, you want to let it sit for like 5 or 10 minutes to kind of congeal together. And then we'll just cut it in big squares. Serve it with a little cilantro lime rice on the side, maybe some refried beans. Absolutely excellent. Now, a lot of people have made this casserole for dinner. Some people say they add a can of drained black beans or corn, like a frozen corn, or black olives. You can add some other things in here to kind of bulk this up a little bit, although it's wonderful just as is. So I hope that you will make this beef enchilada casserole in your kitchen. And if you do, let me know if you add something in here. I love hearing how people customize the recipes. And I hope that it helps you feel like a success at dinner time. Join me next week for another video. See ya.